$1.60 Cardano faster than you think. I'm going to explain my line of thinking in this video. It's specifically on the daily chart, but we're very much going to be zooming out. This is a weekly chart for Cardano because along the way to $1.60, even along the way into a Cardano bull market is $1. And speaking of $1, I was talking to Plutus over here on X about $1, and he said, yeah, lots of tests of $1 generally means it will gigapump through $1 when the time is right. Could also be building out a pretty solid base for next bear market. And that's important too because we are macro investors. So if you're a Cardano person out there, if you're a macro crypto-minded person, hit the subscribe and like on the way in. And if you're not in our intelligence system, get back there right now. We have a free trial going on. Here's a Cardano risk model at a pre-bull market 39. Get back into our exit planner. Go into price mode, if you will. Speculate on what your exits could look like wherever, $1, $3, $5, but then activate risk mode so that we can make less unemotional decisions. We have the free trial. Go get set up right now. But let's dive into the analysis. So I want to talk about all of these things, including the $1.60. There's two kind of non-Cardano related things that I think are important and useful to start the video. I just saw this before I was like getting ready to record. I just really enjoy seeing other analysts and their take because this simplifies, I think, something that I've been doing in my analysis, but it simplifies it in like a few sentences. Most people are overcomplicating the idea that Bitcoin's traditional 4-year cycle can extend. There are a lot of people who are just like, 4-year cycle, it cannot change. We have like 50 days left of the bull market. That's it. It's over. I disagree with that. And Julian over here saying it's simple. If the business cycle extends, the crypto cycle extends. And that's what's going on right here, everybody. Bitcoin is a macro asset. And it is tied, and crypto too, tied directly into the business cycle. And we see how this has extended. And, you know, we go into our risk models. If we go to Bitcoin, for instance, this is something we've been visualizing on the Bitcoin risk model and others. This is what an extended business cycle looks like. This is why we've not had this like parabolic crazy rally every 4 years, how it's happened exactly. This has been an extended rally of higher highs, higher lows without the parabolic moves. So this plays directly into the Cardano analysis. And so does this. This is like around an hour ago, BNB reaches new all-time high. Over $1,000, everybody. This is important. I did a BNB video yesterday. If you're interested why this is important, even for something like Cardano, you can go watch that video after this one. Because BNB is doing what it did last cycle, and even the risk model for BNB is doing what it did last cycle. So let's tie all of this together and let's discuss Cardano. As we know, the altcoin market cap hovering at all-time high areas. We are waiting for kind of this bull market move for altcoins like we had last cycle. So what I want to do before we talk about the $1.60 Cardano and we really actually look at targets, because I'm going to be looking at targets for downside and upside on the short term, and I really want to do short-term analysis. I want to go over to this chart and kind of start talking about $1 and also what Plutus was talking about on X, which is once it breaks, it's likely to be a very strong pump. The reason why isn't just because of the dollar talking point. The reason why is because of where $1 is. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I want to just visualize for a moment this fractal. This is from the last bull market back here, right? It's just the entire bull market move. And I'm just putting it over here. That is not to say this is how it's going to all play out. I want to just note two things. Number one, look at the bear market falling right back into this dollar range. And also you can notice it's slightly below the bull market doors. That's important. But I think in general, what we're saying here is, at least me, if you're a bull market person or a crypto bull right now in the macro, I think we're going to get some type of swing high. And then I think we're going to get a bear market, right? So we can remove the fractal and just say, I'm somebody that tends to think something like this is going to play out. And maybe I'm wrong about it all. I need to balance my risk so that I could be wrong about that, right? We might all be wrong. But right now, this is important for the macro because it's where $1 is. And what I mean by that is this. I've been talking about $1.25, like this 20-week moving average resistance going into the bear. This is what happened in the last bear market of 2018, 20-week moving average resistance going into bear. That was the bull market break for Cardano back then. That area was around 40 cents. Right now, it's around $1.25. So we're sitting at 89 cents. We are in between the bull market door area and 89 cents. Or I shouldn't say between, but we're at 89. We're at 89 cents up to $1.25. And what's there? $1. $1 is right in between that area. So that's why I agree with what he's saying in terms of once $1 breaks, because there has been a lot of resistance at the general the range. I think it has more to do with the $1.25 resistance. But once the $1.25 resistance breaks, I think we will see a big pump, a massive pump. And this could be the entryway for Cardano into the bull market. But what I really liked is that he alluded to a bear market. And if you're a macro investor, I know I talk about our risk models a lot, like in particular for this video, Cardano risk model, it's showing what it's showing. It is still, in my view, a pre-bull market number similar to last area. I know I'm always like, hey, we need to anticipate, go get the trial, set up your alerts so you know when to sell. I like that he's kind of thinking a couple steps ahead, which we all should be at all times, even now, which sounds crazy. We haven't even had the bull move. People will say, there'll probably be comments, we're still below $1. What are you talking about with all this? But we should anticipate, everybody. What if we get a bull move? Maybe it tops out at 275. I don't know. Maybe it tops out at 7. I don't know. But we should also even anticipate when it tops out, what's the plan, right? And I thought it was interesting. And after I mentioned this, we can go look at the shorter term charts and really talk about $1.60. I thought it was interesting him mentioning $1, right? Because if we look at last cycle, right, this bull market door area, if you actually we can put a line. Let's go put a horizontal line right there. There's the bull market door area. Look at the bear market for this cycle for ADA. We got the swing high, entered the bear market. This looks so similar to me. This is the bull market door area. This is a random analysis, but I want to go over really quickly. I'm just going to bring up a Bitcoin chart because what's showing on that ADA chart is interesting to me because when you go to a Bitcoin chart and you take a bear market low to a bull market high, this 786 line is an area, and we can even do it 2 cycles ago. Swing low 2015, swing high, right? This 786 line down here is like this area where Bitcoin, it's not like it bottomed exactly at the area, but once it broke that area, the bottom was forming very quickly. Boom, 2 cycles ago. Boom, this previous cycle. This to me on the ADA chart, right? It reminds me of that. It's like this area, which we're calling for on the upswing, the bull market door area, seems to be this area, this floor that Cardano, at least this cycle that just happened, fell below and bottomed below. Like this could be prime time accumulation area. This was the accumulation zone. And if you go look at our risk models, and we can probably dive deeper into that on a video, but you can just see all down here. Look at that risk score 10, risk score 14, 13, 15. That was all accumulation area on our risk model. So when we're looking at Cardano on the macro, and again, I know it's crazy we're talking about this, but boom, some type of bull market back into a bear market. Well, where would our next bear market bottoming out floor be? I will be using this 20-week moving average this time that we fell below into the bear market, and on the upswing, it is the bull market door indicator. I'll be using that. So ADA, maybe it's not $1, but the floor could be $1.25-ish down to maybe 75-ish, right? Some type of floor like that. So $1 falls right in that range for a support area for ADA. So that could be quite drastic if ADA makes a run to even $5, $6, $7. Listen, $10 is in play, even more in a crazy extended parabolic move for crypto. But I'm just saying, no matter what it is, it could be a very drastic move into a bear market. And this is exactly what pretty much happens every bear market for crypto. So I wanted to really work in this analysis, not because I want to start talking about the bear market right now, but you better believe as we start trending up, I will start talking a lot about taking profits. And I will start talking a lot about preparing for the next bear market. It's just the way it is, especially at this point. I've been so bullish all through this area because I'm trying to prepare for this move. It's been a long road, right? But now if we start getting the move, I will start talking about the next phase. And that's important to analysis as a macro investor. Let's go look at this. So $1.60, let me just explain very simply. And I don't know when I actually posted that on X, I put $1.60, but when kind of backtracking and looking, I think it might be more of $1.50. But we talk about these wedges, these rising wedges that not just Cardano falls into, but crypto, Bitcoin. It looks kind of concerning, meaning, man, it looks like we're ready to crash. And we could. And I'm going to talk about a target to downside. And if the target to downside happens, if we get a crypto dip, this changes nothing about my macro analysis for this cycle for Cardano. But the $1.60 faster than you think, maybe we can call it $1.50 or $1.60, is the breakout out of this. If we get Cardano and crypto, instead of falling down through this trend line and dipping, right? And altcoin market cap, just to give you a sense, if we're going to retrace again to key moving averages, it could be like the 50-day or 50-week moving average over here, 26% to the downside right there on the altcoin market cap chart. You can see if we go to the ADA daily, how a dip from where we are right now to a target is, boom, 27, right? 27%, 28%. It's a higher low Fibonacci that we have right there. So swing low to swing high. There's a higher low Fibonacci. This is in play. I don't want it to happen. Be prepared. The first things first, though, do we get support here and bounce, start making a move to the upside? Or do we fall for a busted pattern, fake out, and then we get to move to the upside? Either way, you see that $1.50, $1.60 range is very, very much in play on this breakout chart. And what's so key about it for me is there is the top of the bull market doors at $1.25. It would be great just to see Cardano start making some price action to the upside, maybe even a move to $1.25. Then we retest this upper trend line, and then we're continuing upwards into Q4 for a rally up towards $2 and beyond, and we get kind of this bull market move, which I don't think is going to look like last cycle, right? Because we're entering, I think, a good business part of the business cycle, but it's a different type than back here too. So it might not be as parabolic. It might be kind of a slower growth to get to where we want to be on this chart. But either way, this is what I'm watching in relation to shorter term price action, a dip to the downside. Even if we dip to the downside, we get support. I'm still very bullish on the crypto markets right now because of how we kind of started the video. If the business cycle extends, the crypto cycle extends. Okay. And that's kind of what's happening, I think, in the crypto space right now. But we do have indicators that are looking pretty bullish. BNB reaching a new all-time high. This is something that led the bull market last cycle. It could be a good signal this cycle. But all the while, everybody, this is what I'm tracking for Cardano. There's a lot going on here. Wanted to share my thoughts with you. Once again, if you're not in our intelligence system, click the link below, get set up with the trial. And I appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, hit that like. I will see you in the next video. God bless.